decision. So where we will go, we will offer to our customers what they will need. And this is the reason why we have launched different programs for our sellers that are part of our customers, programs to our customers to provide them the best selling experience or shopping experience. And we're providing new exciting solutions or devices like Alexa or Prime Video and Prime Music and so on. So I think that the brand will follow the needs of our customers, and we will do it only if we will be able to keep in our path that the solution will be the best solution for them. Otherwise, we won't implement it or we won't complete it. So this is the future of probably of our company.
But Federico, this means, being so obsessed in a positive way towards customers and try to accomplish their needs, do you think that we can expect even very new kind of activities and products? After the delivery, you launched Amazon Prime and all the video environment, and then can we expect something really again game changer, or just little by little small adjustments?
So I think both, because the little by little adjustments usually provides the best experience, and if you continuously adjust, you're able to really keep a great engagement with your customers. So I expect that we will provide more services and solutions to what we already have. But of course, it could be the chance to have a more exciting thing to be launched in the future. And so we can expect for sure both.
Okay, so it's going to be a mixture of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shall I leave it to Ferdinand now? Ferdinand, do you mind to introduce yourself and ask your question, please?
Yes, of course. Hello, my name is Ferdinand. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Germany. And I would like to ask you, since I saw on your LinkedIn profile that you also deal with crisis, I wanted to ask you, first of all, what is the role of a communication manager when it comes to a crisis in the brand, or like internally or externally? And what are your main steps for the employees or the brands to overcome the crisis and prevent that it won't happen again, which I can imagine that could be very difficult or is very difficult.
Thanks, Ferdinand. It's not very easy, and it's sometimes unpredictable, as all the crises. So fortunately, my new role now, I'm no more dealing with specific crises or the big issues. There is a team that works only on that topic, and I was part of it before covering that site for Italy. But when a crisis usually raises, you have to take care of all your audiences. So this means internal audiences and external audiences at the same time. It depends on the topic, so how much it will impact an internal audience, so the employees, how much is defined to a specific audience. And so you have to tailor your communication. Of course, the internal audience is really, really important. So if the crisis has a big impact outside the company, the best way is to keep an alignment between what you've shared outside to push back allegation or to simply reply to a crisis, and to keep the same line internally. So you don't see and your internal customers don't read or don't listen to different messages. So that's the key point. I don't know if I have replied to all your questions, but if you have anything else to ask, please do it.
No, that's perfectly fine, because my second question would have been, in case of prioritization, if you would start with aligning internally or trying to manage the damage outside, like externally, but you already answered these questions for me, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. I can just share an example. When we announced the new policies, internal policies, in terms of work from home due to the COVID-19 crisis, in that case, of course, we prioritize internal communication because our customers were our employees. And so for this reason, we did first a clear communication to all the employees in our through our old tools, and then we used the same messages, almost the same content, also for our external audience in case of questions.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing this.
Got it. Grazie. Federico, shall I just build on that? Because when we met the first time, we were really talking about some years ago, crisis, brand reputation, and how we deal with brand reputation and how things are changed in the last year. But my question now is converting everything so much into digital, and most of all, let's say also in your field, everything goes really on delivery. What about yourself and your work? Did you notice an increase in terms of activities and actions in your particular work? I mean, when you talk about a crisis or handling communication, is it increased? Is it more intense, the activity, or is it exactly like 2-3 years ago?
That's a good question. So I think that it depends on two main factors. The first one is the size of the company, and the second one is internal size, of course, and external perceived size of the company. And the second one is the structure of your communication team within a company. So if the communication is, let me say, part of the marketing team, and it is perceived like a commodity for a commodity to support marketing campaigns, advertising, super final consumer messages, probably there's not much to say. It's almost flat. If the communication team is part of a strategy, it is perceived as one of the main pillars. It's not a commodity, but it's part of the strategical development of a company. In that case, there is a really increasing need to keep reputation very high, in particular within this company. And so, in this case, the size of the request and the task, yes, it's increasing. So, in my case, I can say that I didn't see a very huge increase in terms of the job that they need to do every day, but even more engagement in all the activities. Yes, this for sure. So, and the right point is then to balance the request versus what you can really deliver and keep the focus on your goals and targets.
Yeah. So probably it's even the way of working that change. Thank you. Chiara, now can I leave it to you, please, to introduce yourself and ask Federico your questions?
Yes. Hello, Federico. I'm Chiara, and I'm a master brand student too, and I'm from Italy actually. And I have a question. I don't know if you are willing to answer, but I will try to ask you. So how did you manage to react in the best way to the news regarding critics about local economies and employees that were striking? I know that is quite complicated, but I would just be interested to have some tips that could be useful in the future to face this kind of situation. Thank you.
It depends on the kind of crisis that you deal. So you can have specific crisis to handle with one specific strike, or there is something that is more linked to an overall situation. And so this is completely different. I will give you a couple of examples. So if I think about one of the last general strikes about not working conditions, but about the transplantation field, that crisis was really linked to an overall request by unions and by workers to change the entire segment rules. That this was not linked to Amazon, but Amazon, like they say, was used as one of the drivers to spread some messages. So, in this case, or in the other case, when there is a strike or an issue related to Amazon only, you have to completely work on two different strategies. One probably is more, there is needed a more attention, and you need to be prepared also to other potential escalation. The other one is more linked to a general situation, so you have to really push back and to consider the topics that you need to cover, or completely not to cover because they are not under your control. And about the economic side, I think that's the thing that they be less compelling because we are providing a series of information about how we are helping local economies to strive. And this is due to the fact that, of course, we have invested tons of money in euros in each European country where we have sites. We have created tons of jobs. We are supporting local economies and local small businesses to digitize and sell online. They have created more jobs to boost their business online. So the part there is a good narrative explaining really how we are supporting local economy.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because these rumors and critics are mainly going around online, so I was thinking maybe the communication has to face this situation in a certain way, and even if it's not really not real rumors and etc. etc. You have to maybe take in consideration to speak about this on your channel. So thank you.
That's correct. When it joined Amazon in 2017, we were keen to inform all our audiences that we were not part of the digital business. And after 3 years, honestly, a long time, now the stakeholders and mainly media, but also makers are more keen about this, and they understood that we are a completely different business. So we are a retail company with a traditional business. So fulfillment centers, transportation, logistics, thousands of people. In Italy, there are more than 9,000 people working for Amazon. That's completely different from other players that are full digital like us, but they don't have this kind of structure. I'm talking about Google, Facebook, or other digital companies. And so this is the big difference. It took a long time, but it worked a lot to explain this through direct contact with the stakeholders, plus including this part of the narrative in some of our views.
Thank you very much.
Shall I give it now to Filippo, please? That is not a student, despite would like to be.
I'm always studying, Elena. No, just a very quick question, because very often we see, we work with other companies on different projects, and very, very often, and more often, we see Amazon showing up as their competitors as best in class. Best in class for customer service, best in class for conversion, best in class on retention, which is of course fantastic for Amazon, but also quite a challenge for the competitors. Do you think Amazon is pushing forward, let's say, the limits of what is customer satisfaction in a way that it's positive for all the different markets, or sometimes you get the feeling that Amazon is even getting almost too strong, no? So more than pushing the boundaries is killing the market. Do you ever get this feeling that, of course, for you, you want to succeed, but is this something that is a dialogue inside the company in some way, or?
No, because the key point of this is that we are not raising the bar. The customers are raising the bar with us. So for this reason, we need to. We are challenged, and we need to reply to that challenge. And if there are tons of players in all businesses, that's a good point. So because in this way we can grow all together, we can grow a market segment all together. So, for example, e-commerce or digital retail better. So I think that we are not pushing a lot. Our customers are pushing a lot, providing good feedback that then become concrete solutions, or complaining, and we of course take into consideration all those complaints, and we try to find a solution to avoid any other escalation.
Thank you. So it's really the customer that is always driving the improvement process.
Yes, of course. Then we have some ideas, but otherwise it seems that all our customers are already that's not correct. But anyway, we try also to.
Well, the execution makes a big difference from one complaint to another. Yes. Well, thank you for the explanation.
Okay, thank you. Grazie. And shall I leave it now to Rong, please?
is Rome. I come from China. I'm 28 years old, and I'm also a master student of IET. And I want to ask that, like, considering your work on Emea, like such a wide area, so I'm really curious, like, how do you manage a very efficient communication strategy, like in such different geographical areas? And I want to know, like, if you could explain it by the side, like externally, also internally, in both sides, if it's possible.
Yeah, so in this new role, I don't have to handle a lot internally because there is a European leader also for internal comms. And about what I'm doing now, so just to provide to all of you some more details, I'm promoting the big campaigns that lands across the Emea region and broadly worldwide. So I think with the other teams in the APAC and in the US, and then we release this big campaign that could be announced before in Europe and then the US in APAC, or vice versa. Could be launched in other regions before. The most complex thing is that the EMEA region is not like North America, where you have all the US and Canada, and in particular US is it's just one big state with, of course, 50 states. But if you need to do an announcement, that's the announcement. And in addition, in US you are the headquarters, so if you release something that covers worldwide, that's fine, because you're the headquarters. So you can release worldwide information plus US one, and it works perfectly. Europe and India is really complex. There are different cultures, different languages, different needs, different governments. And so for this reason, when you land a campaign for one country, you need to consider all these differences before doing an announcement. There is nothing that perfectly fits for all. You can provide a very broad master plan, and then you need to adjust the tactics depending on the needs of the country. Also because simply we launched Amazon in some countries 20 years ago and in some others 10 years ago. So there are also there's different age for those countries. So when doing these kind of campaigns, the best thing to do is to have a great coordination with local teams and a very frequent coordination in order to really land the best plan for them and leave them provide your ideas in terms of execution. So in this way, you can reach the.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grazie, Rong. Thank you. And thank you, Federico. Federico is back to back. Try to breathe sometime. Sorry.
No problem.
Get a glass of water, I don't know. Or maybe, given the time it's 6:30, an aperitivo. Yeah.
That's a good option, yeah.
It's a good idea. Shall I leave it now to Fernanda? Fernanda, are you there? Ciao.
Ciao, I'm here. Hi, I'm Fernanda. I'm from Brazil. Ciao. Thank you for being here, answering all of those questions. And since your work is really centered on the consumer, I was really curious to know how do you structure yourself and your strategies of communication to the rapid ways that consumers consume media and communications, and after COVID, like if things changed or things that you were planning for the future eventually happened before you were planning, how can you be like always ready to communicate in such a quick changing world that consumers are always like hopping to the next trend or next channel or media?
I can say that fortunately, I envision Amazon like a very big startup, but the mentality and the way we think is really like a startup. So we are continuously adjusting our way to communicate to all our customers and all our audiences. So in this way, you can really adjust your communication. That in any case need to be very aligned with your targets, with your goals. Need to be consistent. You can change one day saying white and the day after black, because otherwise you can create only misleading perception of your messages. But in any case, you really need to be able to adjust the communication, the message, or also sometimes the strategy, depending on what's changing around you. So how it's changing your environment. Regarding the channel that you can use when you want to communicate, there are different channels, of course. We are using almost all of them, so are both and paid, depending on on the message that you have to share with and the audience that you have to reach. So the new channels there are of course new channels that we are scouting and we are testing. And that's something in my opinion super interesting. And we will see which one will probably be the best to reach new customers or new generations. We will of course use in different tools and a different way to be engaged versus other generations.
Thank you. I'm gonna just do another quick one, if you don't mind. I've read somewhere about how in Amazon in the US they have this strong culture of always being brainstorming, and I just wanted to know if that's a culture that you have here also, and if like any good ideas or ideas that you actually implemented were born this way.
Yeah, part not of a US-centric culture. Amazon's culture is something that is in all regions and in all the countries. So before joining the company, something that is public and well known. There are some different steps during the interviews, and you have to fit with our culture and with our leadership principles. So this is the way to have a real unique company and integrated company, because all the Amazonians are very aligned in the way of working and doing our activities. So the usual process is to create to create a press release. So in this way, we already start thinking how customers will receive our idea. And through this idea, then we create a plan. So we start from the bottom and not from the beginning. So we don't plan something, but we start thinking how it will be announced, and then we work backward on the project. Yes, I've worked on some of those PR FAQs. I've been only engaged to share my thoughts and work on join the PR FAQ. And I had also a couple of ideas in the past that then landed and were used in other countries, like some events in our FCs, including our selling partners, or some internal communication ideas that successfully then were implemented across Europe. So, yes, I experienced that, and I am sure that we'll experience some other new ideas in the future in this company.
Thank you so much. That's such an interesting way to go about it, about like creating new ideas. Thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome.
Grazie anche a Fernanda e Federico. Actually, I would like to leave it now to Gregorio.
Yes, I'm here. Grazie mille, Elena. Ciao, Federico. My name is Gregorio. I come from Italy. I'm a master brand too. And my question for you is, can you tell us, as insider, what was and maybe still is the strategy of Amazon concerning audio formats? So maybe like Audible and Alexa. And how do you manage this audio trend?
So those are for sure some increasing trends. There's no doubt. The main point is very, very simple. So during the years, we saw we have some shift that we have almost all experience, or at least have experience. Some of you know because you have already received the technology and you have used it completely when it was available. But at the very beginning of the 80s, we started using the so-called user interface. It was completely different because before it was just keyboard and you need to type code to work on very complex programs, but you have a green screen with lines and code to put inside to make a computer do an action. And after that, it started the user interface, so the mouse and what we are using now. Then we have the age of the smartphones with the touch screens, and it completely changed the interaction because before we were just pushing some buttons, and now we have a screen that interacts with us. The next one is the experience with the voice. That is the most natural one because right now we are talking, so we're using our voice, and it's one of the most common things that you have to talk with people, to interact with them, and so on. So all those kind of objects will increase their technology, and they will do more, and we will invest in that. And almost I can say all the companies are investing on that. You have now interactive user face in the cars, in your house, through specific devices, or with Alexa or Google or Siri fully integrated in devices produced by other companies, and so on. So what I expect is that this kind of products and services will increase in the next year, and then who knows? But the key point to say is that technology is allowing us to have this kind of services and tools. 20 years ago, it was impossible to have this kind of services at home like this now. So if you remember any of some Star Trek series, the computer talking or something, something for a very reliable future, and not something that is really today. The reality is that now we have it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Grazie Greg. Guys, we still have 10 minutes time with Federico if he can survive.
I can survive, yeah, no problem.
So, please raise your hand or just open the microphone who is already inside the panel. And what's up? Do you want to ask something from India with love straight ahead? Are you there? Ciao.
Yeah. Ciao, Tutti. Yeah, I'm here. Ciao, Federico. I just have like one question. It's just the delivery system of Amazon currently is door to door by a human being, to be specific. So when do you think like it will be automated, like maybe a drone or maybe a street bot who can deliver it, something like that? Like, what is the innovative? Is there any innovative way of delivery that we can see very soon for Amazon?
So in the US, there are already some new deliveries. Two key ones are linked to a company that we acquired some years ago, called Key. And so if Ring, and if you have some ring lockers in your door, don't noise. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I suggest you to go on mute just to be sure that we don't have a lot of noise.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. And yes, I was saying that if you have Ring, the delivery company can leave your product inside your door. So they are allowed to open. You can allow the service, and you can receive your package inside your home or inside your car. It's really the same. So this is I think that has been implemented with 4 companies in the US. So this is, for example, a new way of providing a delivery experience. We have tested out of Seattle a new robot that was followed by, of course, some of our employees to ensure that the system works, and it was fully automated. So, of course, not big-size packages, but for the smallest one, there were robots moving through Seattle, testing a delivery package without the control of, so through a remote control and without the drivers in the city. And then regarding drones, yes, we have already we did some tests. We have received the certification to use drones for delivery, and we have implemented some delivery through drones in some areas. The point is that, of course, all those technologies could be implemented depending on size of the city, if it's available to leave a package through a drone, for example. In New York City, it's very hard to do something like this, except on the rooftop of a skyscraper. Otherwise, it's very common to go through an app. Los Angeles, for example, they have all their gardens, they have enough space to leave a drone, land, leave the package, and move away in total security, because the key point is to guarantee security to everyone. So a robot that move on a sidewalk need to stop if a child immediately or suddenly cross the street or sidewalk and so on. So to be sure that we provide this kind of service in full safety and security.
Thank you so much for the information.
Grazie, Ottava. Ciao. Ciao. Alicia, did you have a question, I think? Because I interrupted.
Yes,
sorry.
no worries at all. I have actually two. Like, one is connected to the security aspect of... Hi, by the way, Federico, nice to meet you.
Ciao.
One is connected to the security aspect because, for example, if robots would deliver automated, then there would maybe also come up a similar issue as it's been commonly observed in the US now, that people, for example, steal packages. And then, like, there must be this whole process of finding out if it's been, like, really stolen, or if there's been camera footage, or, like, how did you deal with that aspect, and how do you plan on implementing ways to secure the delivery of packages, even if it's automated? And the second one I'll ask after if we still have time.
Yes, sure. So you raised a perfect question. So if we need to leave a package in a secure area, it means that the drone, for example, has to land in a secure garden and to have to leave the package in a secure way that we guarantee to the customer that he will find or she will find the package where he has to leave it. So we need to guarantee also that the delivery is secure. Of course, we need to work on this. Something could be simply to say, hey, we can leave your package with the drone only when you are at home. That's fine. That could be an option. So we are sure that the package is left to the right person. And I don't know. Honestly, I'm not dived so much on that project, but probably there could be some other technology used to be sure that the package is delivered in safety and security. The same with the robots, of course.
Okay, thank you. If we still have time, if it's okay, I would quickly ask the other question.
Sure.
It's connected to what you said about the customer leading the direction of the development in the company. Because since Amazon affiliate, I wanted to know if that was caused by the desire of consumers to have a way of earning money for referral, or if that was an idea that came internally from Amazon. And also I wanted to ask if Amazon had then, if it came from Amazon, if Amazon had planned to have this huge advantage through bringing, for example, YouTubers into it that have affiliate links, which obviously spread the message way faster. Was that planned, or was it a lucky coincidence, or do you have any insights on that? Because in the end, like, communication-wise, that was very fortunate. I mean, word of mouth in a way included in the digital aspect. Really interesting.
So honestly, I know the affiliate project, and it works very well for tons of people. But I honestly don't know if it started from a request of a customer or if we decided to implement it by ourselves. So honestly, this is something that I've never started. But thank you for your question, because this is something that I need to learn, and I will check. But I have no idea, honestly.
Okay, thank you so much. No worries.
Grazie Federico. Guys, we have still time, I think, for a very, very, very last question. I don't know if Alara, Alex, maybe Asminda, do you have questions? Please raise your hand. Otherwise, if I'm not wrong, Gregorio had another one, right, Greg?
Okay. No, you're not wrong, but I have not basically a real question. But I was thinking about like Amazon and sustainability, and how can Amazon use this trend to continue to be the leader now that the sustainability argument is so important.
We are leading a project called Climate Pledge, and we have announced it a couple of years ago, just to say, hey, we're not the best in class in terms of let me say, on how we handle all the processes through a corporate social responsibility side. So we know that we have good projects like all our paper box are FSC certified, recycled materials, and so on. But we need to improve them. We need to improve our carbon footprint due to the transposition and the delivery of packages and so on. And so our idea is to be carbon neutral by 2040, and if possible by 2030. So 10 years before the Paris Agreement. And if there is any other company that will join that project, we are open, and we would like to have other partners join this project to anticipate this 2040 deadline. And after 1 year, we confirmed that we will be carbon neutral by 2030. We have started buying electric vehicles to reduce the carbon footprint. And we have implemented a series of other things, like, for example, there are climate pledge friendly programs for sellers who sell products that are sustainable certified. That means there are different certifications we require to our sellers. And in this way, we are not doing something that is only in the air, but something that's really concrete. And we have tons of companies that have started joining the climate pledge, and big companies like Mercedes-Benz, like Siemens, and other big European and US or other companies from the region. So we're taking care about it very seriously, and we're doing it step by step to reach this target.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm gonna like it.
Grazie Gregorio. So guys, I think time is over. I would love really to thank Federico for your time, because I know you are super busy, and it was really interesting and precious for us. Thank you very much, Federico.
Thanks to you for your time. It's every time a pleasure for me to take this want to just share ideas and discuss with your students and with your audience and with you, of course. So thank you so much for your time.
Grazie Federico. And as soon as it will be possible to be in presence again, I really would love to invite you to come over to our campus and meet up in real.
Sure. I'm super happy to do something in presence. So when it's possible and people, I'm in.
We will do that. Grazie mille Federico. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks
and
everybody.
Also the ex-students that are present here in this room, please.
Absolutely. Also, Sab, we miss you badly in Milan. Take care in India. Big hug to everybody. Grazie. Ciao.
Grazie. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you.